They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of displayed.
Right now there's about 186 subscribers. I just need y'all, if you can, I know the COVID's going on, but if you can, at least just put $5 in there. $5 on the Kickstarter and share it also, because we need to take this to fiction. That's why you see them fighting and, putting men down on games and video games. They know that fiction is the last frontier. And that's why I need your support, man. I need you to go on Kickstarter and support SIMP-TAGION.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And, this is the third video in my Single Mother's Living Debt series. Now, this one is gonna focus more on the daughter. Now, what happens in the previous video, just to catch you up, is that when a mother chooses to be a single mother, she becomes a living debt to her children. What I mean by that is that since there's no father around, the children would have to carry the burden of worrying about their mother as she ages, as in they'll have to take resources that they would have to invest in their own children towards their mother, since their father isn't in her life. Now this video is about how this affects the daughter. The previous two videos I mostly focused on the son, how this affects the son, but as well as the daughter, but I didn't go as deep. Now this section is about the daughter. Now the danger of having a woman volunteer to be a single mother is that she places the imagery, especially if she has sole custody of the daughter, she places the image that a woman, when it comes to a woman and a man, that the true relationship is how much the woman could distance herself from the authority of her children's father, when compared to her authority. And that's the darkest aspect of a woman who volunteers to be a single mother, is that it in turn teaches the daughter that to be a mother is to manipulate and maintain a level of distance from the father of your children to your own, when compared to your own authority. And what this will further do is that it will actually in turn teach that daughter to herself at a high rate of, I think it's over 90%, if a woman was a single mother, that her daughter will follow suit. And what happens is that it's a high rate of over 90% that the daughter herself will repeat the same choice as her mother. And that same choice will be to be a voluntary single mother and to eventually become a living embodiment of debt herself. And what happens is that the mother, let's say the daughter's mother will pressure her to actually have a child. The single mother will pressure her daughter to become another single mother, so she can in turn use that guilt and loneliness that the daughter will have, so she can further bond with her daughter and manipulate her daughter into living under her thumb. You see, once a daughter volunteers to be a single mother, she volunteers to not have her own family. You see, when a woman and a man come together, it's them starting their own family. So they leave their own family behind. And now they're the priority, as in their family. So when a daughter becomes a single mother, what the mother will do that happens to also have been that is a single mother, is that this mother will latch onto the daughter and will apply a level of pressure that the daughter is alone, that all the daughter has is her single mother, and all the daughter can trust is her single mother, and all the daughter has to keep that child within that single mother's life, or that child won't have a grandmother, and so on. So that single mother's gonna manipulate her daughter, her relationship with her daughter, to further establish a grip on her daughter's life, and her daughter now becomes her workhorse. You know, as you can see, there's a lot of videos where they showcase a daughter is now, you know, living with her mother, and her mother's the babysitter, and so on. A lot of times people look at it from that one perspective of, oh, the daughter became a single mother and dumped the child into her mother's hand, without understanding that this was the intent from the very beginning by the mother. Because now, since that single mother is too old to have more children, the only way she can gather and get close to resources is to stay close to her own daughter, who's getting resources, be it off her child's father from child support, or aid from the government for being a single mother. So that's why a lot of times you'll see a daughter becomes a single mother, and you know, you'll see the mother put blame and attack her and so on. It's to put all that negative energy she herself could never take. You see, when a mother becomes a single mother, what she's gonna do when she volunteers to keep the father out of her children's life is that she can't accept the responsibility of her actions. So to further not accept that, she's gonna put that responsibility on her daughter. So she's gonna lash out on her daughter, be more aggressive, say you messed up your life, or this and that, you're a failure, you're this and that. She's putting all her energy and all the truth about herself towards her daughter, to further attack and destroy her daughter's self-esteem, so she can have more control over her daughter. So she's gonna break that daughter's self-esteem, just destroy it, you know, to have further control over her daughter. She's gonna make her daughter feel absolutely alone in this world. So her daughter can pinpoint that the only person in her life that has value is her own single mother that destroyed her life to begin with by not allowing her to have a father within her life, you know. So the cycle will continue, and you know, it's only gonna get worse. And then what happens with the daughter, and the thing is this, the daughter, by having the mother in her life, her mother that happens to be a single mother, she will actually be able to get even more pregnant, you know, and have even more children, and grasp and attain more resources through child support and so on, because rather than face her issues, you see, when single mothers used to be abandoned by their own mothers and so on, it left a mental stain that what you did is absolutely shameful, and you not allowing your children to have a father, or you selecting the wrong male, has destroyed you, and I won't be a part of it. I won't give you any way or form to repeat it. You see, back in the day when the single mothers would remove, when mothers would remove themselves from their daughter who's now a single mother, that daughter would have to focus absolutely on their child. There wouldn't be someone to babysit at a low price so you could go to the club and risk getting pregnant again, or not risk, or volunteer to get pregnant again. So by having her, by a daughter having her single mother in her life, it's actually gonna aid her to further increase that amount of children she'll have, and amount of chaos, and actually have more children, because she can depend on her own single mother that's actually leeching off of her resources to watch her children, so she can go out in the club and have eventually become more pregnant, potentially bring STDs and more destruction into her own children's life. You see, as I said before, you see what happened is, once the single mother gets too old, let's say, late 40s, when it's impossible for her to have children to further feed off child support and live off of that, she's gonna look at her daughter as a continuation, a way to regain resources by pushing her daughter to actually get pregnant, pushing her daughter to actually get into relationships sooner than later, repeating the process, because that's the only way she can obtain access to more resources, since her time and fertility window and ability to get pregnant by a man to obtain child support is gone. And now the damage, the psychological damage it's gonna have on a daughter of a single mother is that now the daughter's whole identity of being a mother is how far she can keep the father of her children away from having authority in her children's life. Then the other thing that happens is that by not having a father around, this daughter will not know or understand how to exist beside a man, besides her sexuality she has to offer. You see, if she had a father, and this is why a lot of women that come from a volunteered single motherhood, where their mother was a volunteered single mother, cannot maintain a relationship, is because they never had to maintain a non-sexually driven relationship with a man. So she doesn't know how to properly exist and coexist with a man besides her sexuality. You see, if she had a father around, she would know how to talk to her father, how to respect his authority, how to not make him upset, how to properly cook, clean, how to showcase a level of respect and love to her father that has nothing to do with her sexuality. It just has to do with how she can socialize with a man and be a benefit to that man beyond sexuality. And by living under the roof of her single mother, she will only learn that being a man is her sexuality. As in that's all she has to offer, that her socialization skills are all about her sexuality. So that's why it becomes easier to sleep around with a daughter of a single mother, because that's socially all she knows. All she knows when dealing with a man and when socializing and communicating with that man is her sexuality. Because without a father around, as she gets of age to have sex and so on, and remember, I'm gonna go deeper, and remember is that as she gets of age to have sex, her mother is gonna tell her when she can have sex and so on, and teach her about sexuality. But her mother will not teach her any communication or socializing with men, because she couldn't socialize with the father of her daughter, you know? And by not being able to do that, she can't even teach her daughter. And the other thing you have to understand is women, a woman who volunteers to be a single mother will not want to accept any responsibility for her choices. So when communicating with her daughter to avoid any of that responsibility, she's only gonna encourage her daughter to repeat it, because it's a way for her to now transition from worrying about her mistakes to worrying about and pointing out her daughter's mistakes. So what happens is that she's gonna encourage her daughter to be calm, be accepting of her sexuality through multiple facets, be it how many men she brings in the house to sleep around that are just random, that come and go, you know, like takeout, you know, those, we'll call them takeout guys, you know, they come in, they come out, you know what I'm saying? Or come and go guys, you know, she brings around. She's gonna teach her daughter how that's a stable relationship, is how many men you can actually be with. You see, that's why I see a lot of these chicks out here saying I can sleep with 50, 10 guys, whatever, I've had this many and that many, because that's how she claims she's socialized with men, through her sexuality. And then what happens is the mother won't attack the daughter until the daughter becomes a single mother. And the mother will allow it to happen and actually, you know what I'm saying, promote it and actually look like she's her daughter's friend, because she's gonna transition to her daughter's friend and not mother, because that way she can attach herself even more and have a psychological advantage, because she's not, when she talks down to her daughter's gonna look at it as, that's not just my mom, that's my best friend talking down to me, so I might as listen to her, when the daughter repeats the cycle and gets pregnant and so on, you know? Another thing that's gonna happen is that, another thing that's gonna happen with this is that when the daughter gets, you know, has a child and so on, as I stated, the single mother will never tell her, won't give her negative, because the mother wants to, as I say, she wants to stay away from responsibility for her own actions, and she wants to look like a hero and a best friend to her daughter, so she can maintain her closeness to her daughter, so she can eventually leech on her own daughter's resources from when her daughter gets child support, some government aid, or and so on. Because the thing about single motherhood is it's about, and I'm gonna make another video, which will be part 4, it's about debt. She's the living embodiment of debt, and her children will be treated as debt in her eyes, that her children owe her money. You know what I'm saying? Her children owe her money for her giving them life and so on. I'll go into another video, but back to the daughter. So what happens is, once the daughter's pregnant, the mother leeches on her daughter's resources, because what I was trying to say is this, you see, when a daughter has a mother and a father, she is prompt to push forward. And when she has a proper relationship where her mother and father have a proper relationship, not some simp made dude who's just on his knees worshiping you know, the ground his wife walks, and who has no manhood, you know what I'm saying, has no masculinity or anything. You know, if she has a healthy, you know, she's raised under a healthy relationship between her mother and father, she's gonna want to pursue and have her own family. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna want to have her own family and make her own legacy by becoming a mother and having her own family. But in the presence of a single mother, what happens to the daughter is she's not about having her own family anymore. It's about bringing her mother along. It's about continuing that cycle of destruction that was first introduced to her by her mother. You know what I'm saying? It's not about having her own husband and her own family and moving beyond her own mother. It's not about starting her own family and moving beyond her mother's presence and her mother's authority. It's about that continuation. That's why you see a lot of single mother daughters repeat the cycle, you know, because that mother not being able to accept responsibility and having had destroyed the future of that child by pushing away their father, you know what I'm saying, pushing away their father, has no plans or any plans to actually allow her daughter to move on and have her own children, you know what I'm saying, have her own future. Because if her daughter were to move on, she would not have access to those resources, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the big things. And the other thing is, like I said, it messes up the whole mentality of the daughter. Her whole perception is gone. You know, I'll probably do a part 2 on this one, you know, after I look at it. But this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Remember to like, comment, and, you know, if you want to share, do that. All right, peace. All right, guys, and remember, please support SIMP-TAGION. We need to take this red pill message and, you know, more logical outlook in fiction. It can't be just them selling this false, you know, story with fiction. We have to sell the truth. All right, please support SIMP-TAGION. All you got to do is put $5 and share it, you know.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of